In earlier classes, we studied about the Biot-Savart's law. What is the use of Biot-Savart's law? The Biot-Savart's law is the law which is used for finding the magnetic field at a point. When this is a conductor or this is a conductor, any type, any shape, if you want to calculate the magnetic field at a particular point due to current flowing through this conductor, or magnetic field at this particular point due to the current flowing through this conductor, we need a Biot-Savart's law. But one more law is there that is even more helpful to calculate the magnetic field at particular point P. What is the magnetic field? We can able to calculate by using one more law, and that law I am introducing it today, and that law is called as Ampere's circuital law. Actually, using Biot-Savart law is little bit complicated to solve the problems, but Ampere's circuital law is also used for calculating the magnetic field, but it is very easy to calculate the magnetic field. Then what is this Ampere's circuital law? There is a mathematical definition here, Ampere's circuital law. First I will read the statement, later we will try to understand the law. According to this law, the line integral of a magnetic field over a closed path in vacuum is equal to mu naught times the total current enclosed by the loop, or total current enclosed by the path. This is a purely mathematical statement. So here I want to calculate the magnetic field. Suppose I have a conductor, I have a straight conductor. I want to calculate the magnetic field at point P. We have Biot-Savart's law, but it is little bit complicated steps we have to use. But I can calculate the magnetic field at this particular point P by using Ampere's circuital law. So this is a mathematical statement, we just studied it now. So B, to calculate the B magnetic field around the conductor, first we have to imagine a loop. There is a loop. This is a loop I am going to consider. Always we have to choose some particular loop has a definite shape, maybe circular loop or maybe rectangular loop. That should have a definite geometry, that has a definite shape. Now I am using a circular loop. This loop should pass through this particular point where I am going to calculate the magnetic field, so that this current carrying conductor should be enclosed by the loop. So the current is entering in it. The current entering into the loop, imaginary loop it is, entering into the loop. So that current, total current enclosed by the loop is I total. And mu naught means surrounded by the conductor there is a free space or vacuum. Then what about dl? The dl is a small length element of the loop we are going to consider. Now I will consider a loop. One more loop I will consider. First I will consider the loop. This is a loop, and through this loop some of the currents are entering. Maybe I will call this as I1. And one more current is entering. These are the wires through which the current is passing, and the current is entering from the top. It is reversed, and this current I will call this as I3, and this current is here, it is I2. Then what is I total here? The I total is considered as, for this particular loop, this is total current. I total is equal to I1 plus I2, both are in the same direction, therefore you have to add it, minus I3 because this is in the opposite direction. So this is what we have to use. So if you know the current in a loop, the total current in a loop, and multiply permeability of free space mu naught, then it is easy to calculate what is the magnetic field. What is the magnetic field at a particular point, somewhere here at point P, or somewhere here at point P, we can able to calculate the magnetic field produced by all these conductors. Now there is a derivation here. Application of Ampere's circuital law to an infinitely long straight conductor. The conductor here you are observing, this is having infinite length. Let me state once again the Ampere circuital law. It is the line integral of magnetic field around a closed loop is equal to mu naught times the total current enclosed by the loop. This is one mark question. Now let us have a look at the derivation. Now I have a conductor here. This is a conductor carrying a current I in the upward direction. Now to calculate the magnetic field at point P, we need to imagine a circular loop, imaginary loop. Now I want to calculate the magnetic field at point P. You know, you already studied in earlier classes that at any point P, if you want to calculate the direction of magnetic field, you just draw a tangent at that particular point. If you want to calculate the magnetic field at this point, just draw a tangent, you will get the magnetic field direction at that point. We can use right hand thumb rule also here. You have to hold this conductor in the grip of your right hand, and the curved finger around the conductor represents the direction of magnetic field, the nature of the magnetic field, right? We studied that. So at any point if you draw a tangent, that tangent itself gives the direction of magnetic field we are going to get. So magnetic field is in a circular loop. It forms a circular loop. It forms a concentric circles, right? The magnetic fields forms a concentric circle. Similarly, the loop we have considered in circular path only, in the same way we considered it. So wherever the magnetic field is there, and loop is also there. Now let me consider the mathematical equation of the Ampere circuital law. So according to Ampere circuital law, line integral of magnetic field times B dot dl is equal to mu naught I. This is B dot dl. So what is B dot dl? B dot dl is equal to B dl cos theta. Theta is the angle between B and dl. We have to choose the magnetic field, any of the magnetic field, such that the magnetic field should be tangential to dl, or it should be perpendicular to dl. Then only it is easy to solve the problems. How to choose? Once again I will tell you. We have to choose a loop, length of the loop, such that this magnetic field should be parallel to the loop, length of the loop, or perpendicular to the length of the loop. Then only it is easy to solve and calculate the magnetic field. Why is it so? We will see it now. Now here we considered here you see in the figure, you can see it here. DL is in this direction, right? DL is in this direction. Only this small elemental length we considered. We can zoom it. This is DL. And what about magnetic field at this point? The magnetic field can be found by again using a tangent drawn, right? So dl and magnetic field both are in the same direction. So if both are in the same direction, so what is theta is equal to? Theta is equal to 0. Therefore, if theta is equal to 0, what you are going to get? We are going to get this b dot dl is equal to just b dl. Theta is equal to 0, cos 0 is 1. Okay, now let me consider this. According to Ampere's circuital law, line integral of a magnetic field over a closed loop is equal to mu naught times the current in it. Okay, now I use the same thing here. So line integral of magnetic field, this b dot dl can be written as b dl cos theta. That is equal to, since b is constant throughout the loop, it is not varying. Throughout the loop, the magnetic field is same, and that is constant. You take it out of the integration, and only this part dl should be inside the integral. But what about the integral of dl? Integral of dl means what? Sum of dl's. So here the figure I will consider like this. So this is dl and this is also dl. So many dl's I am considering. This is also having length dl, and next loop is also part of the loop is also dl length, and again length dl, dl, dl. There are many dl's are there. If you integrate all these dl's, you will get a circular loop. If the radius of this circular loop is r, then what should be the integral of all the dl's, or adding all the d's, this dl you will get? You will get integral of dl, line integral of dl over a closed loop is equal to 2 pi r. Why it is 2 pi r? Because we integrated over the entire loop. So total dl gives rise to the circumference of the loop. So that's what we are using it here, 2 pi r. Therefore, we can write it b into 2 pi r. We just taken it and apply the Ampere circuital law. So this is equal to, so mu naught I, right? I just taken it. So mu naught I. Very simple. In few steps we got it. So the magnetic field at a point P is equal to mu naught I divided by 2 pi r. So it completely depends on, the magnetic field completely depends on current flowing through the conductor I, and it also depends on the radius of the loop we considered. How much is the radius of the loop? Greater the radius of the loop, lesser the magnetic field. So this is 3-mark derivation. Very easy steps: diagram, explanation, and the statement of Ampere circuital law, and use this and we will get the final step.